Where's the other?
Coco's having a bit of trouble coming on. Does anybody know the actual meeting ID and or password? Because I got it in straight from a registration.
You're coming in and out. Your connection's really weak. What was the question you had?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. My goodness, it's a little technical difficulty this morning. Luckily, I got in right around 9 o'clock. I have trouble in the logging. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's get right started. Zen, you want to help me play the slides? Zen, are you online?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I am.
So Zen's from my team, and he will help us play the slides, and I'll be
Still not
talking.
co-host, but at least I can.
I can't hear you.
Is he having trouble getting the slides?
Yeah, he's pulling up the slides for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why my internet connects. Skip PowerPoint.
Okay.
Moving slides.
So we have Denise. Good morning.
Morning.
We have Renee. Hi, Renee.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Gina. Oh, you're muted.
Hi, I was in the wrong meeting. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I was waiting for you, Renee. I'm like, where is she?
I did the same.
William.
I'm learning.
Hi.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Julia, Elise, Linda, all in, right? Joaquin. Are you able to play the slides then?
I am, but later I'm gonna have to do a video, and it will require that
Do you want me to? I can
it be
upload the.
optimized.
I can upload the slides because you're having problems with your video, right?
I can do the I just got the slides,
Okay.
but for playing a video, Zoom needs to be optimized for like video and sound, and then I think only a host or co-host has access to those settings.
Oh, who's the host here?
I don't think there is one.
There's got to be.
Maybe Renee
You can claim host.
Huh?
If you know what the password is to claim host, you can become the host at the bottom right.
Okay, no problem. Let's just get started with the slides
sure.
first. And if we have trouble with video, Renee, maybe you can help us.
Right.
So Renee, are you teaching a class?
What class?
For one of the other series?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. Today we're teaching about lead generation is the core of your business. Have all of you watched, or some of you watched the top listing panel yesterday on Facebook?
No.
No, okay. It was interesting that I was on that panel, and yesterday all the other listing agents were sharing about how to get leads. So I thought that was interesting because that's what we're talking today. So let's talk about lead generation. Then your slide stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
Spark number 2, session number 2, this is more geared towards newer agents to help get the first appointment within 2 weeks and the first close after 30 days. And there's 2 things that every single successful agents do every single day. This should make sense to everybody. Like
So
if you
either
want
grow our business or run our business, right? So lead generates for buyer or sellers, or are we, what are we doing nowadays? Are we trying to grow? Are we trying to run it? I think that's the, we need to do both, right? So that's what we're trying to do. Maybe today we're trying to focus on how to get leads versus how to run the business.
right, because no matter how good our current business is, if we don't have leads, we're not gonna, eventually one day we'll run out. It's not like we're 7-Eleven and we can sell the same things every single day. Even 7-Eleven's probably looking for new things to sell. So it starts with the lead generation model, which will be on the next slide. Does anybody know what's in the lead generation model?
No.
Let's get right into it.
Okay. It looks like this. There may be a bigger one on the next page, but there you go. So there's 3 steps in it. I know it looks like 8 steps, but there's really only 3, which is lead generation, database, and the sales pipeline. We'll start from something simple. Does anybody know the difference between lead generation and sales?
Yeah.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Gina, you say yeah?
Oh, well,
Okay.
yeah. Well, lead generation is, accumulating prospective leads for business and relationships. And then sales is sales.
No sales.
Right.
Okay, so if we look at the chart, so we have prospecting and marketing. So let me ask another question. I think the first question is, what's the difference between lead generation and sales? The second question is, what's the difference between prospecting and marketing? And then the third question will be, what's the difference between leads versus contacts? So I think we can talk about this very briefly. Then we'll go back to the first question, what's the difference between lead generation and sales? So let me talk about the first one, prospecting and marketing. So prospecting and marketing, we always say it together, but actually prospecting is more direct way. So it's like we're reaching out to get leads, right? So we're trying to do calls or trying to do to call someone, cold call, warm call, whatever, just prospecting somebody. That pretty much does not cost as much as, it's not like you're spending money trying to do marketing. Marketing is more like you do farming, you do postcards, and people know you, you build up your image. So marketing is more longer duration, and in order for you to really, it's farming, right? It's planting the seeds, and then you can gradually see the crops coming out and start harvesting. But prospecting is very, it's more time incentive. You have to really be proactive to reach out to people. You can get immediate results because if you made a call and you get that lead, you probably will be able to convert that lead into a sale. But marketing is more money intensive because you have to spend money to do the farming. It probably takes longer time for you to see the result. That's why we call it farming. You cannot farm overnight. And then it's more passive. And then you kind of building up your reputation and your name. Then you're waiting for people to reach out to you to call you for any business. So that's, I say that's the difference between prospecting and marketing, even though we always say it together. Can somebody tell me what's the difference between a lead versus a contact?
Well, a lead is somebody that you initially get in touch with. And then a contact, it would be somebody that you've established contact with, and you continue with more communication, hopefully toward a contract or listing or whatever.
Okay, actually,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yes and no. Yeah, I think leads more like toward, well, I guess both leads and contacts can lead to a contract, but
Mhm.
leads, it's more, I would say, it's more leading directly to business. It could be a one-way contact, right? So it's not like you having a contact back and forth. A contact could be your friend, could be a colleague, or could be anybody, a family member. So you have the contact information, but that can also be converted into sales as well.
Mhm.
So there's a slight difference, but both leads and contacts should be captured and should be put into your database so that you can actually continue to cultivate them and try to make sales out of it, right?
Mhm.
So
Right. And according to this pyramid, it's suggesting that prospecting has sort of a priority, that you should put the emphasis on prospecting
Mhm.
instead of marketing. So why do you think that is?
Prospecting is you're having direct contact with people. The marketing, it's very, very passive, and it's indirect. It's actually indirect because you're just like you had mentioned, you're sending out postcards, flyers, whatever. That's not actually direct human contact. The prospecting involves human contact,
I
and it
see
has
this
more impact.
Yeah, marketing is one-sided one way, and prospecting is two. It's more of a
Mhm.
relationship.
it's,
Right.
yeah, prospecting
I
could be a
completely agree.
relationship, it could also be a cold lead, right? You could be,
Yeah.
it could be a one way, but hopefully you are able to catch that and become to be a two-way conversation. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
so I
so for
think
all these reasons, that it's that maybe you don't have the money to start out with heavy marketing, or and you have time instead of money. So it's prospecting will get you more, and it will get you immediate results as opposed to long-term results somewhere down the line.
that's a good point too, because
Mhm.
marketing, you have to be consistent. You know, sometimes when you do farming, you do the postcard for 1 month and then you kind of forgot about it for a few months, and then people forget about you as well, because marketing is just a long-term investment.
Mhm.
Yeah, have to be consistent, and even though it's passive, it's very consistent.
Right.
Okay.
So another difference between leads and contacts is that leads, you kind of know what their motivation is. Like if somebody says they're thinking of buying a house and they give you their name and number, then that's a lead. Whereas a contact, it's a mutual relationship. You have two-way communication, but they don't have a clear intention of needing the services of a real estate agent. This next part is about, once you've captured the lead or contact through prospecting and marketing, then you proceed to the second part before we get to sales, which is the database. And later you'll do a practice with the Keller Williams database called Command. But does anybody know what's the importance of this database? Like, why is it a whole big step, just like lead generation and the sales pipeline?
What's the question?
Why is
The
it
question,
important? Why is it important to build up a database?
Well, so you can have your database, you can have your drip campaigns, and you can keep contact with people and constantly let them know
Touches.
you're there.
Constant making touches. I think that's
Yeah.
the most important thing, having a database. It doesn't matter what format of database is, I have to be honest, I am looking for a database. We were discussing yesterday as well. I have been using Excel spreadsheet for my database, which is very, very backward. But having a real database will help you to touch your contacts and your leads on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Because if you put on your notes or you put in the Excel spreadsheet, very likely you will forget about them. And then the most important thing is if you look at on the screen with how many touches you would have in order to convert that into sales. So that is very important to remember. So you have to do it consistently. If you have a database to help you, that's great. If otherwise, you have to remember that manually yourself. You have to remember to do that. So,
Right. And the good part about having a dedicated database such as the Keller Williams command, instead of saving it as a contact on your iPhone or putting their email and phone number onto an Excel spreadsheet, is that you can save a lot of different types of information on them.
Mhm.
Whether they're like buyer, seller, investor, first time, luxury, and you can also put custom tags on them, as well as track all the interactions that you've had with them. So this is a lot more towards a catered experience and giving them a unique customer experience rather than just having their name and email and phone number as a contact.
yeah, I remember, I think I taught a class about customer experience. I think that is actually very critical for them to get your calls or get your email on a consistent basis. That also provides the good experience, and that's how they would actually remember you when they really have a business to do. So we need to establish that connection before the business happens, so that you can continue on with the good customer experience during the sale. Speaking of database, if you have a team, it's good to have database so that if your team member touched the customer one time, then they can make note, then you will notice that. And when you try to call, you will know what happened last time when somebody else from the team called. So it's something I'm looking into. Yesterday at the panel, people saying Command is actually a good database. They also gave us a few other options, like I think then was that Follow the Boss or something?
I don't remember actually.
Okay, so there are a few databases, and also another one's called Chime. Another one is called I forgot the name for the CRM. Basically, there are a few CRMs that they're using. Are you guys using a CRM right now? You are? I can't hear you anymore.
What's the CIM?
The database. It's a database. Yeah.
On Command, you mean?
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
using Command. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. Do you find it's useful when you do the touches and then, because I'm not really using Command. I'm using Command for all the other company required items, but I'm not really using it for my client database right now.
Oh, that's where I have all my
Contact.
data contacts in. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Mhm.
Okay, so here's, we're not going to go through the tech demo, but here are some screenshots of Command that you will probably see later. Here's the custom tags. You can see that it shows when you've last contacted them. It has a timeline, like a calendar for you. Okay, and that's it. Now we're going to go back to a video about how some agents generate leads, and this will prompt you to think about what your personal communication style is and what's the best way for you to generate leads, and we'll have a discussion afterwards. So I'm going to switch the screen share into the video.
And I watched the video. I think there's some information may not be COVID friendly. So think about what you could be doing differently from pre-COVID time.
Something. Oh, there you go. Okay. And another thing that to think about is that in the video, they're going to talk a lot about open houses, and as of right now, open houses are not really an option. So,
Yeah.
what are our options at this point?
That's exactly what I was trying to say. Think about what you can do differently in comparison to pre-COVID. So what we can
Okay,
do.
I got the video. Hopefully, it will play properly, even though the sound may not be optimized. Oh, the sound might not play at all. Ooh.
Okay.
Otherwise,
the
we can have
sound.
someone help.
Yeah, maybe Renee can help
Can
me.
you guys hear it?
No.
No.
All right.
What happened?
Okay. Okay, if you put it on, if you unshare your screen,
Oh, there. Wait, I saw it for a second.
you saw, okay.
I think I saw options. There you go. Share sound.
Yep, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
And
That's
optimize
perfect,
for video
perfect.
clip. There you go.
Lead generation is the first thing you should do.
Make those calls.
I took what I already knew and how I would go and shop for a house and just applied it to them.
It's a numbers game, you know. If you can track how many people you're calling in a day and how many hours you're doing it, there's a formula.
Make those calls.
I used those things that I did innately to attract my clients.
I became a hyper-local expert in the military because I am a military spouse. The two key things that I did to generate the most success for me were social media and open houses because I didn't have the database like everybody else did. So I had to find ways that I could get in front of people fast and also something that would be maybe the buyer or seller would be ready and willing to buy now versus later. And I'm lead generating specifically in an area that is military friendly, military heavy. It really is in the follow-up. Be present in their lives, build a relationship. Don't just ask for business every single time you see them. Be present in their lives, build the relationship. The least effective marketing activities for me were cold calling. And that's just because my niche market, they're not going to be already local. They're going to be moving from other bases. Then I decided, well, if I'm going to leverage cold calling, let's do it more purposeful and let's do it only in my niche market where I know that there's military there. They're likely to buy or sell in 3 to 4 years. Mindset was a huge part of my success. One of the things I tell myself for an open house is one good lead every time. And so I start that action at least a week beforehand. I do a social media campaign. I follow up with all the likes and comments. And then I do a door knock around the open house. And then I follow up with anybody who is active at the open house. And usually that results in at least one buyer or seller leads, usually more.
So my first year, obviously, the minute I made the change, it's super scary. I've got a network of people still reaching out to me to, help them with what I was doing before, which was post-production. And I knew that my job in the beginning of the year, starting out, was changing people's mind from thinking if they met somebody who needed a commercial made, they thought of me. I knew my job was to change all the people who knew and trusted me when they heard somebody needed to buy a house or sell their house, they thought of me. If you're starting out and you don't have that network, be really intentional about where you spend your time. You go get gas, you could meet somebody who needs to buy a house. Just think that way and you'll attract that to yourself. I think everybody likes to talk about real estate. your job is for people to know that you are in real estate and that they will bring it up. Open houses are by far just the best thing you should do out of the gate every weekend, each day. Starting out, I did door knocking, I did mailing. I didn't get a great return, but I wouldn't change that. If I was starting out again, I would door knock. It's just talking to people, getting rejected. It's great experience no matter what. I'll also say that the most important thing is that your lead generation strategy is coming from a place of authenticity. You're not going to get every client in the city, but there are people out there that are going to resonate with who you are, and just figure out a way to bring value. The income is secondary. That's how I go about it, and I think that really resonates with my set of people that I take care of.
My lead generation strategies in the beginning were a challenge. I actually honestly believed when I first started that lead generation was cold calling and door knocking. So I kind of stayed away from that. I was fearful, I was anxious. But over the course of the business, the things that were innate to me, networking, open houses, facilitating classes, it allowed me the opportunity to connect, and I start to see that as opportunities for lead gen. And it was far more effective for me because it was natural. Let me just go back. When I became a new agent, from the time that I was in Ignite and graduated from Ignite in October, November, December, I closed with 8 transactions in just 3 months. And during that period of time, I noticed a developmental gap. And I say this to say I was spurred to partner and collaborate with some other agents and create master classes, as well as Launch and Learns monthly to share, mindset, motivational speaking. And through this, I was able to build a community, or I was able to build a group and a network broader than myself that basically helped others in home buying, and also with other agents to help build their skill sets. It has put me and set me apart from other agents. Lead gen pitfalls that I've seen agents do are just being cookie cutter, looking at a successful agent or looking at someone else and doing exactly what they do doesn't necessarily work for everyone. Scripts gave me more confidence to be able to know what to say when I was talking to certain clients. Also, there's different approaches to different questions that may be asked. So instead of looking at scripts as, I have to memorize this verbatim, it was a resource to gain knowledge and definitely helped me to build confidence, even though I was not planning on using it verbatim. I've always said my purpose is to empower and to elevate others to a level of excellence. And when I meet with my clients, I want to make sure that they have enough information and they feel empowered to make the decision. How can I do that? How can I help you to make you feel that once we've made this connection, you are elevated?
With my time blocking, for the first 2 hours of every day, I would do lead generation. And sometimes it would be 4 hours if I wasn't getting the productivity that week that I wanted. And then I followed up with all of my clients and learned just lots of very successful habits through Ignite. I think that a lot of new agents want to try all different types of lead generation. You're not really honing any talent in 1 or 2 different lead generation. There's all kinds of different models, but they are not made for everybody. The best lead generation model for me was my sphere. I called my sphere every day. The number 2 way that I got business and did lead generations was open house. I found for me the best way to connect was to be in front of them. People I already knew that I had built a relationship with, or I had met at an open house and I had time to actually connect with them. The scripts that the Ignite program provided for me really worked because they helped me get out of my comfort zone when I was having to call everybody in my phone book and let them know that I had transitioned jobs, what I was doing, and it gave me the dialogue to ask for business. On our team, we have picked 6 different nonprofits locally that we like. And we do an event with all of those nonprofits every year. And we meet lots of new people that way. We invite all of our former clients. We invite our vendors. And then we invite the neighborhoods. We go door knocking for the event around the park doing this. So then we also have client appreciation. We try to do that quarterly. We'll do a client appreciation event where we invite everybody out to a restaurant and then we provide appetizers. And we just have fun. It's not necessarily a salesy event. It's just about having fun. By being out in the community, they see that we are knowledgeable about what we're doing, but we're also giving back. We care about where we live.
My first year as a realtor, I tried just about everything in terms of prospecting and lead generation. What I found for me was that I present best when I'm face to face with somebody. So I really focused on open houses and then networking and getting out for coffees, making myself visible in the community, and then always making sure that I was able to speak to what was happening in the market at any time. So keeping up to date with local news and projects in and around town, I found to be very helpful when talking with people. To set myself apart from the many other agents out there, I've been utilizing video. And I find that putting the videos out on Facebook and a YouTube channel, and then even emailing them to clients, really allows people to feel like they get to know you. And I've had experiences where I've talked to people on the phone, and they were, especially with out-of-town investor clients, and they were not necessarily ready to go with me until I sent them a video saying hello, outlining how I can help them. It was good to have the phone call with them, etc. And the feedback I've gotten on the videos has been very, very strong. The biggest pitfalls I saw other agents having, and even fell into myself with lead generation, was not having consistent follow-up. So if I had an open house and I got some names and numbers and contacts and told them I'd be in touch with them, sometimes I would get overwhelmed and I wouldn't touch base with them in a timely manner, or to follow up on calls with somebody that has shown some interest. Making sure that you stay on top of things and follow up with your contacts is very important. Scripts are great for understanding what objections you might encounter and how to overcome those objections. What I discovered was I would learn what the foundation of the script was. What was it trying to get me to say? And then I would be able to, just by knowing that and having read it over and over and over, when I would have an objection come up, I was able to utilize those scripts, the content of the scripts, in my own words.
Okay, so thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I can share a few things here. So I heard, you guys heard open house over and over. Right now we don't have open houses, and I don't know when the open house will come back. So let's talk about things that's other than open house, or even parties or events. You know, you have people talking about client appreciation parties. So that's where you can get to be there in their life and try to get more business, you know, things like that. Right now, the face-to-face interaction is less. So how can we do things that's more COVID sensitive, and then that can be more effective in this market? Yesterday, I think during the panel, we discussed some. So I wanted to hear, Denise, you want to share like what you do?
Well, I'm really, really new, so I've just been building my database. But I have communicated with people to let them know that I am in real estate. And I'm just working with my sphere of influence. And I went on Facebook. I've never been on social media before, but I set up a Facebook account and I announced to the world that I'm now a real estate agent.
That's a great point. Actually, this is what I have for any new agents, even for myself when I started. Call your sphere of influence. That's the cheapest way to get started. You don't have to spend any money. Just pick up the phone and tell them you are a realtor now. And if you don't need anything right now, do you know anybody who may need something, who may need to buy? You know, try to let people at least know you exist as a realtor, right? So I liked the in the video they're saying, try to be part of their life, you know, basically build your presence. So if you are hiding somewhere, they don't even know you exist. Of course, there's no business for you. There's no lead for you. So you make yourself visible and build a relationship. I think that's one of the most important thing. Even for me, myself, even though I do have a base of clients, but I think the best resource of leads for me still from the existing people, my sphere of influence. Because even anything that's cold from somewhere else, it does not work as well as the people you already know. So I think that be number one focus. If we can focus on the people you know and try to call them, since you can't meet them that often anymore, try to call them and let them know. And then of course, cold calls. Cold calls hasn't been working really well for me either. I found a lot of numbers are the numbers are just not valid. So anybody has any good experience with cold calls here? Renee, do you or Gina?
I started doing cold calls. Hi, I'm Elsie.
Hi,
Yeah.
Elsie.
Hi, Elsie.
Yeah, hi. Cold calls is something that I never thought of myself doing because I don't like to have people calling me, for instance.
Right.
If I don't know them and trying to sell me something. But I've been, I took my license end of October of 2020. And since then, I'm starting, and I started just trying to get myself into this business. I haven't grown up here. I don't have family here, so my sphere of influence is very small.
Mhm.
And I needed some way to reach out through COVID, because I was thinking, open houses are going to open soon, and maybe that I am a person-to-person kind of a person.
Mhm.
But since that didn't happen, I decided to spend some money on marketing. I joined a couple of things. One of them is Land Voice, which they send you every day contacts of expires and FISBOs and numbers that you can call, and those are approved. Those are not do not call on the do not call list. But I do that every day for about 2, sometimes 3 hours even. It's very frustrating. It's very uncomfortable, and nothing comes out of it. I don't know if it's because it's uncomfortable, or is it because these people are not gonna answer. Most of the time, they don't answer the phone, so you need to text instead of talk, and they never get back to you. That's
Elsie, I
my
agree with you. I also subscribe to Land Voice, and then I think probably just about 2 years ago we got one lead, and then ever since then I've been paying for it, and I think for 2 years we haven't got anything out of it.
Yeah.
So maybe
there
the
is-
quality of the Land Voice wasn't so good.
Yeah, I agree. I still didn't get anything from it. And also I subscribed for Elevate. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They take care of all your social media, because me too, I was very, I have Facebook, of course, but I had it for very limited audience, kind of very close friends and family. And then when I got into real estate, I expanded it, and I had a business page, and I went a little bit more public. But I post things, but you cannot keep posting on real estate. You need to show yourself as a human first, as somebody who cares for the community, and then once in a while just put something about real estate. But that didn't do anything yet. I know it's not too long of a time, but it is long for me to start getting frustrated a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I think that's more of a marketing. And remember, in the beginning, we talked about the difference between prospecting and marketing. Marketing will take a long time and to build up a reputation and a name. So, of course, you're not going to see immediate result. The immediate result will be from your sphere of influence or direct calling, the prospecting, right? So that will be more immediate, more direct, more it's less time consuming, it's cheaper that way. But I still think you should keep doing what you're doing for at least for the marketing part, because if you don't start right now, when can you start, right? You have to build up. That's what we call it, farming, right? Or farming or marketing. You need to have the time to build up your name, and you need people to gradually know that you're in the business. Yeah. So yesterday, a few other people mentioned about videos, and even in today's video, one of the people mention about videos.
Yeah.
So what I have been doing, I don't have open houses either, and I really miss those open houses. So I thought I will start my seminars. And I opened up all the seminar to everybody just because I feel maybe that's a way to keeping people connected. But open house is more direct in a way that you really get to talk to people immediately for their needs. But the seminars is more like a marketing. Again, it's a longer time of building up the relationship. I don't see any immediate results from the seminars. It's just a way of being there and keeping in touch. And then so people still know I'm still in business. And then if they have questions, they can ask me. So I think that's another thing that you, if you want to try or make videos so that make it more lively for the other people but that's more, I really think that's more of a marketing, less of a lead, like prospecting. Renee, you raise your hand.
Yes, I did. Thank you for acknowledging. One of the things I want to say is that, a couple of things. Number one, whenever you talk about lead generation, people automatically go to the fact that you're going to ask them to cold call. And that isn't what lead generation is. And I want people to understand that there are some people that are incredibly successful cold calling. It's in their wheelhouse. That's who they are. And they bond with these people and they do very well at cold calling. So I don't want, what I'm afraid of is someone's going to say, well, we talked yesterday about limiting beliefs. I don't want people to sit there and say, well, I heard that cold calling was bad, so I'm not going to do cold calling. You've got to try it out and see if it works for you. If it does, more power to you. And cold calling doesn't have to be just picking up the phone and calling perfect strangers. Part of what you can do is find a Keller Williams listing, call around that listing, say, hey, did you know that we have this listing at 123 Main Street? Do you know anyone that'd love to live there? Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that, everybody has their wheelhouse, but and you've got to do something.
Yeah, definitely give it a try. I agree with you, Renee. Cold calls work very well for some people. I think probably I've heard stories like when they made a call and saying, hey, your listing expired. Do you want to? Are you looking for new realtors? And then the answer was like, oh yeah, come over and let's get an interview. That was just like a surprise. Of course, how lucky can you be like that, right? So I still think you still should try. Give it a try and see if that's something work for you. Another thing that I found, of course, right now during COVID, you can't really do door knocking, but I know some agents are very successful in doing door knocking. And versus I actually tried it. I honestly didn't like it. And I didn't do it anymore because I felt for me it's more waste of time because people may not be home. Then I leave a flyer that I might as well just mail to them, right? For me, that's more effective in my mind. But of course, it's not working. It was not working for me. Does not mean it was not working for other people. Like what Renee said, you have to try it, and because door knocking could be working for you. And then you could get really lucky. And then it's not really lucky. It's really about the numbers game. How many doors you're hitting, how many calls you're hitting, then maybe you get one out of it, right? So is that Adeline? Adeline, did I pronounce your name right?
Yeah, it's Adeline.
Hi, Adeline. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say that I agree with Renee because 1 month into getting licensed, I started cold calling. And from that, I've gotten 3 leads. And then I chose a listing and I started calling around that area. And then I got another listing a lead from that.
That is wonderful. Congratulations. Which database, well, what numbers are you calling? Because evidently that voice is not working.
I'm just, I use True People Search and I kind of just go from there, look up their number. But I do try and kind of like check the do not call list first.
Yeah, so you have to do your data mining yourself, right? You have to really check individually.
Have a question?
Julia, yeah.
Good morning too. I also just wanted to say that I got some really good takeaways from the video. I know that it can be kind of intimidating when you think of lead gen, but like some key points that I found really helpful was to really capitalize on your strength. So figuring out how you best connect with people and then formulating a lead gen strategy based upon that, I think would be a great starting point for all of us, because that's going to be how I start. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because not all approaches are going to work for everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah. So Julia, what was your strength when you started? What was the best working out for you?
So I actually just started. I'm brand new. I formally joined Keller Williams on Friday.
Oh, congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So I don't really have all of my credentials to log on to like the CRM and stuff like that. But I'll just say where I'm at right now. I'm figured out I'm like one of those people who also loves to be in front of people and establish that warm connection. And because COVID is here and we're having to pivot, I'm figuring out that I'm just going to have to get creative. And so you were speaking about videos, and I actually thought that that was a really great idea, because you can really speak to the video. It's short, it can be short, sweet, simple, get your point across, and people still feel some type of connection. I know I do when I'm, you know, viewing my social media and I have a friend who's in another line of business and they're just giving me this 60-second clip, 2-minute clip about what they have going on. That feels like the closest thing to warm connection right now, considering the pandemic situation. So I really like that. That's what I'm going to try to go for, and think of other similar ways to connect with people until we can get back to, you know, open houses and networking and stuff like that.
I totally agree, Julia. That's a great idea, because that's how I started the videos too. And just because I'm a little bit more perfectionist, so it took me forever to produce a video. But I had other agents sharing that you don't have to be so perfect with your videos. You can just do something very natural, and then that way make it more effective. And then people may even like it better because it's more natural. It's not like
right. It's authentic, right? And I'm like that too. I'm a person who it kind of bugs me to see myself on camera, if that makes sense. I start getting nitpicky, but I need to get over that, and I will. And you know, it's just part of my progression. But you're absolutely right. And I think it speaks to an authentic piece within your video that not everything is perfect. It's, you know, we're all normal people.
Yeah, and I have people who are who mention about how they do videos with their clients, you know, so it's a great way of saving testimonials and then asking for referrals or asking for more business later on. Yeah. So thank you for sharing. And hi, Renee, you have another question? You raised the hand.
No, Gina, poor Gina. Gina's not the most patient person. So please call on Gina.
I'm sorry.
Your hand's too light.
No, Gina, your background's a little lighter. That's why I don't see the head.
It's okay. No worries. I was back to cold calling. My only concern with cold calling that's thrown me off or makes me cold to it is the do not call list freaks me out. And I just cannot fathom looking up a number and then looking down this list of 1 million numbers and make sure it's not on the list. I just, that's too daunting for me.
What I heard is, of course, you know, I totally agree with you. And that's what I worry as well. But I do hear that if you happen to call it do not call list, and then just apologize and saying, sorry, you know, I will not call you again. I'll scratch you from my database.
But can't you get sued for like thousands of dollars? I mean,
I heard you can be sued for $50,000 per case.
So
I know.
Honey, if you're worried about being sued, you're in the wrong business. I mean,
it's scary. I totally agree. That's one of the reasons I feel very hard about cold calling as well.
These do not call lists are ridiculous. They're like 1 million numbers on it. So it's like, I just don't understand all that.
Yeah, it's not about the fear of me not getting rejected by the other party. It's really about the fear of calling the wrong number. That's
me too. That's my big thing. I don't want to get sued for $50,000.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Hi, William. Good morning.
Good morning. I just wanted to mention we had a listing class. I think it was last week, and the agent was talking about buying her number list from title company. And all of the numbers on that list were vetted already against the do not call registry.
I actually spoke to a title company. I don't know whether they're going to screen out for the do not call list or not. That's something I'm a little iffy about. But I do believe, even including land voice, they will tell you if there's a do not call. So most of the numbers you bought from somewhere should be already screened out for do not call list. But if you do your true people search, like Julia does, right? I forgot, is that Julia or Adeline?
Adeline.
Yeah, so I think that'd be a little harder because then you have to compile your own. You have to search each individual home for the homeowner's phone number, and then you have to run the risk of getting into the do not call. So maybe that's a too time consuming and too risky way of doing it.
I did have a question or a comment, and then I know you guys are kind of coming up against the clock, but real quickly with videos, remember it's progress, not perfection. You know, you're not going to be perfect the first time, and people want to see your foibles. People do not want perfection. Number one. Number two, Keller Williams has 2 off-the-shelf presentations if you want to do Facebook presentations. There is a first-time buyer presentation. If you go into Keller Williams website and put down first-time home buyer presentation, and for those that are coaching with me, I've got a little, my buyer thing has that presentation in it, but you can do that. And then there's also, if you go to Keller Inc., there is actually the Millionaire Real Estate Investor presentation. It's got the slides, it's got everything. It's a plug and play. So for those that want to get into attracting investors, that is a off the shelf sort of thing. So those are 2 other opportunities to have presentations that are already set up for you. And with that, I'm going to lower my hand. And
yeah, Renee, if you can email link to me as well, that'd be great. I know we have a lot of resources on Keller Williams website. I should start leverage using them as well. Yeah. So yeah, I really agree with Renee on the video, and many other people told me the same thing too. I just get a little nervous about using the raw video. So that's not, yeah. So I think any other people wish to share, Kayla, do you want to share?
Yeah, so for me, I think right now, during the pandemic, we cannot do the open houses. But although I haven't done it, but I think maybe we can do it live on Facebook or maybe Instagram. If you do have like a database, you can send some notification to your clients and see, okay, this Saturday we will have a live open house online. And if you would love to join and ask any questions, so I would love to help you with that. I think maybe that's another way to do open houses and also to get more interest from the clients. But although I haven't done it yet, but I think maybe that's a way before we can have the physical open houses.
Yeah, so speaking of virtual open house, we tried it during COVID. Just the experience. Of course, we didn't try too much because during COVID, during the lockdown last year between mid-March to end of April, we tried the virtual open house. So it was only 1.5 months, and the result wasn't so great just because the people don't really join for the virtual open house. So so that's of course it's always a good way to try it. And it's not long enough for us to try it out. I see people doing the virtual open house as well. I don't know which kind of effect it is, but hopefully that could be generating some leads. Yeah. Julia, you have a question? I think Julia raised the hand. Yeah.
Not a question per se, but I just wanted to say that I did have a friend, he's a realtor for another brokerage, and he has had some success with doing not necessarily scheduled virtual events, but on Instagram, you can do a feature that takes very little time to do, where you kind of do snippets of a house maybe that you're listing or that you're viewing, and he's gotten business that way where he's actually met a seller that way, and it's worked out for him. And I know it's worked out for him more than once. So that could be another strategy as well. Like I said, it's not very time consuming. It's very easy to do. It's kind of like, oh, snippets of really attractive pieces of the house, and it makes people want to have more information.
Social media, yeah, definitely. Right now, we're moving a lot of in-person meetings to social media. So social media is very important for us to get in and then start marketing there and prospecting.
Yeah, I would just want to add on that. So, sorry. So I also saw some agents doing that. So when they just show their clients the houses, they will just maybe use their phone to take like a really short video. So the quality is not that good, but they will just keep posting it. So if anyone, but they will never post the address. So if any of the friends online are interested, and they will just ask questions and they see maybe what's the address, what's the price, and when you want to show me the houses. So yeah, maybe that's also a way for that.
Yeah, so if you don't have an address, then you can kind of get them to call you, right? So it's it's a good way to get in calls and then try to pick up the lead from there. That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, so the quality is not good, so just the content, they should be fine.
Exactly, definitely, yeah. So that's something I need to remember. Don't be so picky on the quality, but definitely try to do something rather than do nothing, right? So if we cannot do in person, try the videos, try the social media. Social media is definitely the way to go. I think even after pandemic, just because people are getting used to it. I think online presence is very important. Yeah. Thank you, Kayla.
Okay, let's close this out here. And then so now we started with lead generation model, and the lead generation model has 3 parts. First part was lead generation, second part was database, and now we're in the home stretch, the sales pipeline, which is what you've all been working so hard to get to, is when you actually get business and you close the business. So the sales pipeline, it's kind of at the bottom of the hot air balloon. They call it cultivating, which leads to having an appointment, then an active listing, then you're under contract and you close. That's the goal of where you're going, and you get there by first marketing and prospecting to get your leads and contacts. Then you continue to contact them and touch them until they're ready to do business with you. Okay, now we're at the end. Now, if anyone has any left any ahas, how has your thinking changed? Or what tools do you use that you want to share, and how do you feel now at this point? After this is going to be the daily success habits. Is going to be a workshop where you learn to write scripts, do presentations, and how to put contacts onto your command. So that's it. If anyone has any final thoughts, we have a couple minutes left before we go into the practical part of this morning.
The daily success habits is the same. Is it the same Zoom link, or do they have to log into a different Zoom link?
It's probably going to be the same link, and they have a guidebook that has the next steps on it. The next presenter might be resuming off of that PowerPoint too as well.
Oh, I think is Renee still here? Renee probably said she has a team meeting, but I don't know about the next one. So our theme just ends at 10 o'clock. We have a couple minutes left for questions. They continue on with the daily success routine. So I don't know whether it's the same Zoom link or not. Let's try to talk and see anybody has any questions right now for the last couple minutes. Anybody know that where is the next meeting? Then I don't think it's the same Zoom link. Otherwise, people should be coming in already.
So is it team meeting or what's the next
I
meeting?
think it's team meeting. Yeah.
It's a, here's the schedule. Let me put it into chat.
I think it should be team meeting. They have the team meeting. Tuesday team meeting. Better leave, otherwise Rob Ross get mad at me. 10 to 10:30, script practicing with partner. 10:30 to 11:30, calls to your database. I don't think it's the same meeting. So actually it's the first time for me to join the Ignite. So not too sure about the procedure. So I guess we will end this one and then you all can join the team meeting. And I'll see you in about 2 weeks. I think I have another class on May 12th about seller leads.
Thank you, Coco.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Zen. Thank you,
Thank you.
Julia, Miguel, Linda, Elise, Joaquin.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now. I think we can just leave, right? So get really confused about this.
Why every time I don't have any notification about the Ignite?
It's very strange. I only knew because they want me to teach the class, and otherwise I don't know this either. Can you call Rob? Call Rob Ross. I think Rob has the schedule. Rob sent it to me. Ask me whether I can teach the class.
Okay. Okay, sure, I will. Yeah, because I never saw this classes before.
Yeah, I think they started yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh.
But I don't even know. Yeah, but I think every day they have something. Even tomorrow they have something. Call Rob Ross, and then I think he has a full schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, I read the email over and over to see if you're responsible for anything after 10
I'm not
o'clock.
responsible.
Doesn't
for
seem
the
so.
other thing.
Doesn't seem
Just
so.
9 to 10. Yeah. Get really confused. Okay. All right. So I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Good seeing you again, Kayla.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, go bye then.
Bye bye.
Bye.